flat foundation brush. It's normally made of synthetic hair. It's flat and it serves to apply an even layer of liquid or cream foundation across the face. Now similarly with foundation, a flat foundation brush picks up more product and deposits more product. Again, this is very good when you need to start a makeup look off and you want an even coverage, fairly heavyish. So I'm just going to show you how you can use this. Always pick up the product with the flat side of the brush. Never pick it up with the edge of the brush or the toe of the brush. This will completely dislocate the fibers and break open your brush. So treat it like a paint brush, and that's what you're doing literally, you're painting. So use this and it will give you immediate coverage and over a wide span. This is literally a paint brush. Use the toe because it's shaped. Use it to get into the difficult corners of your face. And use the flat part of the brush to pat on the color. You normally never use flat brushes for blending because it's impossible to blend with flat brushes. You'll notice also that with flat brushes you get a fairly heavy application of product. This is a stippling brush. They are dual fiber brushes and are great for application of creams and liquids, and you'll find them in larger or smaller sizes, and you may even use them for the application of cream blushes and highlighters. They are typically used in a makeup to create a flawless airbrushed finish. These dual fibers are a mix of synthetic and natural hair. This is a stippling brush and it's a dual fiber brush, so there's a bit of natural and there's also artificial. Now a lot of people do get confused about how to use this brush because they think that because of these pointed synthetic ends, you tend to streak your makeup. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. What does stippling mean? Stippling means actually to dot. So it's literally creating the best kind of airbrush effect that you want using just this brush. I'm going to show you how you can use this for different purposes. First, as you can see, I've used a heavier foundation application from before. The stippling brush can be used to distribute that and create a sheer effect. Make sure that you use a very light hand. Although it appears like a quick and brisk motion, it's actually really light on the skin. How to use this brush is to literally move only the whites. So you don't see the brush fraying or going deeply into the skin, surface of the skin ever. All you're doing is using the white synthetic fibers to kind of give her an airbrush kind of feel, and this foundation becomes really sheer and glossy even. So you're buffing something, you're buffing her face up. As you can see, the texture of the foundation has changed. Similarly, if you didn't want a heavy foundation to begin with, you can just use a stippling brush directly and stipple across your face. This creating these kind of dotted effect actually distributes the foundation evenly without making it too heavy. You stipple the face and then blend. The natural fibers in this help distribute the foundation evenly across the face. So as you can see, you get really sheer application and it's absolutely streak free. You can do it across your neck and your face as well. This brush is most effective when it is moved in brisk, light, round strokes across the face. A flat concealer brush is normally made of synthetic hair and it is flat. This allows for you to pick up and deposit a concealer in an even application on the specific area that you are concealing. It's akin to the pad of your thumb or forefinger. So I'm using a flat concealer brush. Now what this does is it picks up a good amount of product being made of synthetic hairs. It picks up a lot of product and deposits it heavily as well. So this is ideal for use when you have a good amount of coverage to do, and it's quite close to how you'd use your the pads of your thumb and forefinger and pat on a cream. It has that kind of effect. So you'll see that it's got a pretty heavy placement. So it's good when you need to do a fair amount of coverage and not a light coverage. Since her under eyes are fairly colored, I thought this was a good place to demonstrate this particular brush to you. As you can see, there's a good amount of coverage when you use a flat concealer brush. The round concealer brush normally allows for a more soft and diffused application. It works really well for blending a concealer or for applying lesser quantities of the product. Now this is a concealer brush you'd use if you didn't want too much coverage. So if you want the finish to be more soft and diffused. It doesn't pick up too much product either. I'm using the same concealer on the other side. And you'll see that the finish is way sheerer than it is when you use a flat concealer brush. Of course, you can layer it and layer it until you get the same effect. Using this brush is great when you have lesser concealing to do. For example, maybe around the nose, where you don't have severe pigmentation. This blending brush may also be used to blend eyeshadows. A powder brush is a mop-shaped brush that's made of natural hair. It is soft and fluffy and it comes in a variety of sizes. I normally use a large one to dust powder lightly over the face and neck area. The toe of the brush is normally rounded off to facilitate a soft and diffused application. This is a powder brush, and the bristles of a powder brush are really soft normally because they're meant to move freely across the face and not really deposit a lot of product on one specific area. These brushes are really good for a fairly sheer application of powder across the face and neck. But if you would like a more matte effect with the same brush, use the flat part of the brush and pat a specific area that you would like more matte than the others. You You can see the difference. Here I've used it very lightly, so the dusting is more sheer. Here I've used the flat part of the brush, so you can see that the mattifying is more specific and very strong. This is a small rounded powder brush. It's normally made of natural hair, and this brush is slimmer than a powder brush, and it helps apply the powder to small and specific areas of the face, such as the T-zone and the under eye areas. This is a small rounded powder brush. Now this brush is ideal for using in very specific areas like around the eyes, the inner corners of the eyes, around the nose, the T-zone. So basically to go into smaller areas that need specific powdering. It is always safer to use smaller brushes for powdering around areas like the eyes and the nose. Larger brushes tend to pick up more product that may end up in the eyes or the nose, leading to tears and sniffles and slow down or disrupt the makeup process. Also, using a large brush around sensitive areas may simply intimidate your customer. Small brushes reach into the grooves along the eyes, nose and mouth to ensure that the base is well set. Always use smaller brushes with smaller amounts of powder for specific powdering. A blush brush is similar to a powder brush and is made of natural hair. The head is slightly rounder than a powder brush. It helps create the diffused effect that one needs for a blush application. I recommend a medium-sized one or an angled blush brush that can do double duty for contouring as well. This is a blush brush, and I think it's one of the most versatile brushes. If you use it clean, you can also use this as a powder brush. And of course, as you proceed buying more brushes and adding to your kit, you could probably have two separate brushes, one for a blush and one for a powder, because this can do double duty as both. But having said that, right now it's just playing the role of a blush brush. And the thing with the blush brush is they're normally more round. They're rounder right across as compared to a powder brush. And this makes it easy to kind of roll the product across the cheeks. Makes it easy to roll and pick up a small amount of product and deposit also a small amount of product without making it a very heavy application. Always use blush brushes with a very light hand because these are quite bendy anyway, these bristles. Fluffy brushes tend to deposit lesser product than flat brushes, which is why they are great for gradually building up a color. You may also use this brush to softly layer on color until you achieve the desired effect. What is interesting is the fluffy brush may also be used to blend off excessive color if you have happened to put on too much. An angled blush brush can be used to do both. Apply just a blush or sweep it up towards your hairline and even apply a contour to a face. This is an angled blush brush. This again can do double duty. You may use the angle to apply a contour to the face, which is under the cheekbones or even across the jawline. And you can use the mound or the toe of this brush to apply a blush. So either way, it's great for making a very structured line or for blending. I'm going to show you both. You can use it as a contouring tool or to apply a contour. You can use it to place a contour wherever you need to. And you can use the same brush as a blush brush and blend in the line of the contour with the blush. If you choose to use an angled blush brush to do both, that is to apply a contour and a blush, be sure to use the brush to blend the two colors without leaving visible blotches of the two different colors. Be prudent in the use of this brush as it does serve a few good purposes. So keep the shape well maintained by always using it with a light hand so as to not change the shape of its head. You will find that fan brushes come in both varieties, dual fiber or just ones with natural hair. The dual fiber brushes are great for applying cream highlighters to very specific points on your cheekbones. The natural brushes are used for powder highlighters and also for dusting off excess powder from the under eyes before and after makeup. The fan brush may be used to do both, dust on and dust off a powder before and after the completion of eye makeup. It is a great brush to use for highlighter application too, but we'll come to that in a later video.